guys, and welcome back to another video. I think I just made the cat jump a little bit there, but he seems to want to be in the video, so I'm hoping you're going to stick around, as this video is all about board games based on video games. No. Leave the game alone. Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. And this week we are once again looking at board games, but this time again it is board games based on our favourite video games. So you may remember a few months ago I did the unboxing for the Resident Evil 3 Kickstarter edition board game. But you will be surprised to see there is a lot of board games based on your most popular video game franchises. And this episode we'll be looking at 3 such games. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know I am a huge fan of board games and also a huge fan of the Gears of War Saga. So this game spoke to me very instantly, and it was one I knew I had to have in the collection. So this is Gears of War, the board game, and this came out to coincide with the release of the very first game. This game is made by Fantasy Flight Games, and if you are a board game nerd like myself, you know that is a good name in quality, and this game comes with some incredible miniatures. One thing to know about this game though, it is out of print now and it is getting more and more expensive to pick up. So if you see a copy for a decent price, and by decent I mean under £100, I would grab it while you can, as this is a fantastic game to add into your collection. Let's delve into the box. As you can see here, there is a lot of stuff in the box. You have 32 high quality miniatures, and it's something we've always come to expect from Fantasy Flight Games. You have your 4 original Gears of War characters, as well as an entire horde of locusts. So this game is kind of like a dungeon crawler. You pull cards to have random locations come up, it tells you which enemies spawn, and you fight these using the tension card decks. You draw cards to see where you're going and how the enemies will behave. You can move around the map and pick up weapons, and all of this has the iconic artwork from that original Gears of War game. This is a really good co-op game from 1 to 4 players. You're working together to try and get through these missions and clear them out. But there is some tough enemies, especially the Berserker here, and a miniature for this is absolutely fantastic. So I'm just going to cut now so you can have a closer look at some of the stuff that comes with this game. One of the things Fantasy Flight Games has really captured us is the feel of that original Gears of War game. The artwork here is absolutely beautiful. Even the interior of the box absolutely captures the spirit of that first game, and the miniatures are just breathtaking. They look exactly like their in-game counterparts. The attention to detail on these is fantastic. I just love the tiles as well. They've just got that dark, gritty feel that Gears of War is so famous for. This really is a beautiful game for on your games table. The love shown by Fantasy Flight Games also goes into the rulebook of this game. Everything about this game just oozes the feeling of Gears of War. You can see from the artwork here, and these instructions are pretty clear and pretty easy to follow. It literally explains how to play through every game, the rules such as line of sight, how enemies behave, and it even has set missions for you to do. If you want to kind of get a feel from the original Gears of War game, there is missions so you can experience that on your tabletop. Fantasy Flight Games have literally nailed every detail, even going down to the weapon cards. They look exactly like their in-game counterparts. The attention to detail here is absolutely admirable. It just looks so good. The biggest attention to detail in this game is in how the characters react. You take cover, you shoot from cover, and you can even charge in with your chainsaw, and the enemies react as well in the way in which you'd expect them from the game. That is why this game feels so much like Gears of War. It is not a Call of Duty run and gun, it is a slow tactical cover, whether you are taking cover from boomers or chainsawing wretches into a million pieces. If you're a fan of Gears of War like myself, this game is a must play. Even if you haven't played tons of board games, this one isn't too hard to pick up, as the tension decks do a lot of the work for you. As I said, this one is getting more expensive to pick up, but it is definitely worth it. Even if you're not an avid board game player, just for the absolute artwork of this and incredible miniatures, as a collector of Gears of War stuff, it will be worth your time. But this is not the only game made by Fantasy Flight Games that is based on a video game, as you'll see with our next game. Our next video game based board game is another game from Fantasy Flight Games, but this time it is based on another one of my favourite franchises, the Fallout Saga. So this game came out around the time of Fallout 4, as you can tell by the artwork here, and it is once again another fantastic game where you can explore the wasteland with a few of your friends in another cooperative or not game. As you can see, as soon as we delve into this box, the attention to detail once again is amazing. Even down to the insert in here with that iconic "Please Stand By," which is so synonymous with the Fallout universe. This time we only get 5 miniatures, and these are all for the players. So you have the Super Mutant, the Lone Wanderer, the Ghoul, the Brotherhood of Steel Soldier, and the Raider female. But this game is a little bit more complicated. You can work together, or you can decide to screw over your friends, as you have to decide whether to work with the Brotherhood or the Institute, very much like the storyline of Fallout 4, just a little less oppressed and asks you to help another settlement. Being a Fallout based board game, one of the main things of this game is exploration, and as you move around the wasteland you will discover more of it. At the start of the game, only a few tiles are uncovered and the rest of them remain a mystery. Meaning if you want to find out what is hiding in the wasteland and complete missions, you really have to explore every inch of this map. As you move around the map, you're going to find more iconic Fallout locations such as Red Rocket Station. So you can see when we go here there is going to be an enemy, and these are randomly drawn and are only activated when the characters come close enough to see them. In the case of this one, it is a classic Fallout enemy, the Bounty Hunter, and you can see here where his weak points are and what loot you get for defeating him. One word of warning though with this game, it is not the simplest game ever, especially if you're quite new to board games. There is cards upon cards upon cards in this game, but it is a really deep, real-time tabletop Fallout experience, and everything is so detailed, even down to the bottle caps, and even adding extra locations you can visit on every different game. It might be very complicated, but this is literally the closest you're going to get to Fallout in a board game form. Even down to the missions you are given. They have multiple choices and multiple endings. You can really make every game your own and make your own decisions and change everything in one movement. Being a Fallout game, this is all about decisions, and there is loads of different ways you can play. You can have different groups you have to pick between. We have the Railroad and the Institute, the Slaves and the Slavers. You can even go to locations such as Far Harbor or the Children of the Atom, and of course the Brotherhood of Steel and the Enclave. This game has a lot of replayability. As we've come to expect from Fantasy Flight games, they really have a key eye for details. Even having a little version of the Pip-Boy, where you can track your levels, your radiation, you can even have companions and added armour. It even comes with dice that look like VATs. The attention to detail here is incredible, and it really adds the immersion if you're a fan of the Fallout series. This board game absolutely nails bringing Fallout from the console onto the tabletop. But word of warning, if you're not an experienced board gamer, this one can be quite daunting to get into. There is a lot of rules, there's lots to think about, and it is a very in-depth, complicated game, but it is worth taking the time to play through, learn the rules, and if not, watch up some YouTube tutorials. This is an absolutely fantastic way to experience Fallout using cardboard and miniatures. But if you prefer your board games in a more pen and paper way, you're going to love this last game we've got to look at. The final game we're going to be looking at today is Cyberpunk Red, and this is the Jumpstart Kit. So this is actually the 4th edition of this game. It's been around since 1988. It is basically what the Cyberpunk 2077 game is based on, and this is more of your kind of pen and paper tabletop RPG game. So you don't get any miniatures as such. You could add them in if that's something you want to do, but let's delve into the box and I'll show you what you get. First thing we'll look at when we open the box is the 2 books. So we have the rule book, so you can basically learn how to play, as well as the world book, which is really good at kind of building up the world of Cyberpunk. So that's what these tabletop RPG games are all about, is being enveloped in the world. So as you look through these, you can see there's some really cool artwork. You can definitely see where they got a lot of the stylization from Cyberpunk 2077 4. These books are pretty simple and it's nice and easy to learn, and basically the deeper you get into it, the more you can add to your world experience. When you're ready to jump into the game, it has a selection of pre-made characters for you. So there's quite a few classes you can play as in this game. Each one obviously have their strengths and their weaknesses. It just kind of depends on your play style. And of course you can play as a very stylized version of Johnny Silverhand if you decide to play as the Rocker. We all love a good set of dice, and these cyberpunk inspired dice look really awesome. So there's also some mats so you can play this game on your tabletop with various locations that are gridded to help aid with movement and aiming your weapons. There's some quite cool locations. You've got basically everything you need to play coming straight out of the box, even the streets of Night City, as you can see here. So I said there wasn't any miniatures for this game, but you do get some pretty cool standees which you can cut out and stick around. It just kind of helps to realise where things are on the board and kind of bring yourself into the game a little bit more. There we have it then, guys. They're just 3 video game based board games from my collection. And I can tell you now, there's a few more there and a few more I really want to add into the collection. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was something a little bit different this week, but if you did enjoy it, remember to hit like and remember to subscribe, because every Saturday I'm coming out with more videos. Remember to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Dan the Games Man. And as always, have a great week and keep playing the game. See you soon.